Warning, the following video will contain a lot of speech impediment accidents. I don't know what was going on with me during the video commentary, so you might see a lot of stuttering, you might see, or at least hear a lot of ers or us, or a lot of words that sound misplaced. So if you guys have a problem with that, then I urge you do not watch this video. Also, this video is controversy because the topic at hand. So if you guys do not like any of the subjects in the description below, then I also urge you do not watch the video because I do not want to hear a lot of complaining, a lot of other hateful stuff in the comment section below. But if you're going to do that anyway, then please keep it at a respectful level. So, as always, enjoy the video. Bye. Three, two, one. Hey, what's going on, guys? Bizkit Rebellion, and welcome to Comic Book Talk episode 6, I think. I'm not even sure at this point. But anyway, the topic today will be about top 5 things I hate in comics. Now, before I start, this episode was originally supposed to be on a Friday, like I always do every Friday, Comic Book Talk episode, but the problem was I ran out of topics on that day, and Saturday I had something to do, so on Sunday I had free time, so I decided to think of a topic, and I came up with this, so here we are. So, top 5 things I hate about comics. Alright, number 5 is the multiverse, or at least what they're doing right now. Back then, I loved the introduction of the multiverse, but what they're doing right now kind of pisses me off. Alright, the multiverse. What is the multiverse? Basically, different universes. Like Superman from Universe 1, or Earth 1, Superman from Earth 2, you know, stuff like that. Really don't want to go in depth with that, because there's a lot of mathematical equations and stuff like that that I really don't want to get into, because I probably might fall asleep. But anyway, why do I hate the multiverse? Is basically this. What DC and Marvel are doing is they bring in characters from other universes into the main one, and they have no business being there. One of the huge examples, sorry, speech impediment. One of the huge examples of this in Marvel is what they're doing with Miles Morales in Ultimate Spider-Man. They're bringing him to Earth 616 and canceling the Ultimate, or at least ending the Ultimate Spider-Man series. Why? I don't know. I really don't know. I really want to know why, actually. Maybe because of fan feedback, because now Miles Morales is becoming a little bit more popular. Maybe it's because of that. But what I don't understand is if he originated in that universe, why is he coming into the main one? Now, I understand. This is the main one. This is the main one. Earth 616 is the main Marvel universe. But here's the thing. For characters that originated in a different universe, and not to mention, they have their own story that fits for that universe, why not stick with that? Why not stick with that? Maybe Marvel is, the sales for Ultimate Spider-Man, they're dropping. Maybe it's because of that. I'm starting to think that way because I canceled my issues of Ultimate Spider-Man right when Peter Parker died, only because I didn't like the fact that Peter Parker died. I'm not a fan of that, but I did read in the internet about Miles Morales, and you know, started to like him, starting to get more information out of him, but that doesn't change my rebellious opinion about not buying Ultimate Spider-Man because Peter Parker died, but that's besides the point. I like Miles Morales. I do. And he still belongs in the Ultimate Universe. His story is well thought out. It actually makes me regret canceling Ultimate Spider-Man, because I missed out on all the stuff that he has done. But what I don't understand is, why do you have to bring this guy to the main one? He has no business being there. He really doesn't. And not to mention, we already have another Spider-Man. Why do we need a second one? Seriously, why do we need a second one? Isn't one enough? Isn't one really enough? Seriously. And DC also has that problem. Like, they bring other characters from other universes into the main one when they have really no business being there. Earth 2 Superman, well, with the exception of Infinite Crisis, because I think that event was just to recreate the multiverse. So that's understandable. But the fact that he showed up and became a threat I feel like he became a threat only because they wanted to give Superman a challenge, apparently. Which I don't see why you could have just thrown in Doomsday or something like that. Why do you need another version of him from a different universe so he can fuck up shit here? Why? Seriously, why? It's like, for example, it's like saying Injustice, the regime Superman, now is going to be a part of the main DC universe, when we already have another Superman in that universe. Not to mention a good Superman, because the regime is kind of evil in a way. So I don't understand why would they do that. Now, not that I'm saying they're doing that. I'm just giving an example. But it's almost like that. And you can see why I don't like that. Because regime Superman belongs in that universe. Just like the main story Superman belongs in the main DC universe. But apparently they're probably doing this for money reasons. Or they're probably doing this is because the issues that are selling for that universe is probably decreasing, which is kind of understandable because comic book companies do need money to continue making issues. So yeah, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, but that does not mean that I like it. I do not like it, to be exact. So, down to the fourth one. The fourth one on the list is time year skips. Yes, I really, really hate time year skips in comics. I really do. Horror movies, I understand. You go into a horror movie, you defeat the ultimate evil of the movie, and then after that, you have a time year skip. You live out your life, you did this, this, and this. You become a regular person. But in comics, especially when it involves superheroes, there should not be a time year skip. There should not be, because you're missing out on a lot of stuff that could happen during that time year skip. Alright. Two examples that I can think of from DC is DC's 1 year later. I really hate that. I'm not even sure if that's an event, but I really hate that semi-event. Let's call it that because I don't know what the hell that is. Basically, what happens in 1 year later is after the events of Infinite Crisis, Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman become out of commission. Well, not technically out of commission, they're just not doing hero business for 1 year. So what they did was they skip 1 year of them not doing crap and go to where they finally went back to the hero business. What I hate about this is, first off, the idea. What I had in mind was when they weren't going to become heroes for a year, I was thinking, wow, how are the heroes going to deal with this? How are they going to balance out the world now that almost every person know that they're not going to be heroes anymore? How is the Justice League going to work if the top three aren't, running it? How is the villains what the villains are going to do? They're going to take over the world because they finally think that they can beat every hero because the top three ain't, heroes for a while? I don't know. I don't know what they were going to do, but apparently they decided to skip 1 year and basically end it to where they went back to the hero business, which sucks balls in my opinion. I think the one issue that I hate the most in the 1 year time skip was Teen Titans, because a lot of characters got affected by that 1 year time skip. And if you can think of a specific reason why I hate the 1 year time skip in Teen Titans, in that event, the 1 year later, then I'll probably give you a cookie. Sorry, speech impediment. I'll probably give you a cookie if you can guess why I hate the 1 year later time skip in Teen Titans. But anyway, on to the third one. Crossovers. Crossovers. I have to blame Marvel for this one. I can't blame DC because to this day, I don't think I have a problem with DC. I'm not complaining over the crossover event. I'm just complaining the way how they're handling the crossover business. The way how Marvel is handling it is, okay, we have one event, and then during that event, it could be already midway through or towards the end, they launch another event. And then they launch another event. It's like 3 events happening at the same time. And let's say if you're like a story person like me, If you're a story person like me, you'll probably want to know what's happening. And if you have money to buy the comics, or you actually prefer reading the comics and not searching up online, like me, you're probably going to buy every single issue that involves that event because you want to know what's happening. You don't want to miss out on any part. So, what I hate about Marvel is that, let's say one event starts, I read it, I'm like midway through, and then another event happens, and I'm like, holy shit, another event. Let me read that one too. And then right when the other one is about to end, and then midway through to the second event, another event comes in. And I'm like, how much events is going on? There's too much shit going on. That's a lot of stuff processed in one brain. That's too much information. That really is. I mean, would you imagine in DC, there's an event with, can't think of one, Justice League against the evil versions of themselves. The evil versions is trying to take over the world. Let's say that's a big event. And then midway through that event, Teen Titans Trigon is trying to take over the United States. And and then towards the end of the first event and midway through to the second event, imagine Darkseid is coming to take over the world. It's like, not even, like Darkseid took certain amount of superheroes and they're trying to take DNA or extract DNA so they can be processed into these robots or whatever. I don't know what the hell Darkseid does these days. This sounds more like Brainiac, but okay, let's say Brainiac does that. That's 3 events. That's 3 events going on. First one, Justice League versus the evil counterparts. Second one, Trigon trying to take over the United States. Third one, Brainiac stealing random heroes' powers. That's too much work. Well, not work, but too much stuff going into one guy's brain. And that's what Marvel is doing. Now, I'm not trying to praise DC for not doing this, because they have done this before. They've done this, I think, I'm trying to remember. This was before Flashpoint. Like, they've done a lot of events before Flashpoint. Actually, before Blackest Night. If I can remember exactly what happened, then I'll let you guys know. But I do know I noticed this before Blackest Night. So Marvel isn't strictly the only people that do that. DC has done it before. It's just that now they're not doing it. Marvel, they're doing it now. A lot. And I'm kind of starting to hate that. A lot. But anyway, that's it for the crossover topic. Let's move on to the second one. Retcon. If you do not know what Retcon is, then probably look at the description below, because I'll probably give you a link and it'll probably explain what I mean by Retcon. It's spelled R-E-T-C-O-N. Think of it as reboots, rewrites, revisions. I hate the way how they do that in comics. They should have just stick with what the writers already established. I don't see anything wrong with them, to be honest with you. I really don't. I think 2 characters that I can think of from DC that came across this problem was Superman and Donna Troy. The one that had the most harshest rewrite is Donna Troy. Jesus Christ, I feel sorry for the character, the writer, and any fan of Donna Troy. Whoever's a fan of Donna Troy, I feel sorry for you, because they keep on rewriting this girl's origins that at this point it's like, what the hell is the point of making origins anymore? Superman, not so much. It's mostly like revisions, because basically they're trying to keep it basic. Last Kryptonian, Krypton is dying. His father sends him into a spaceship. He lands on Earth, and he lands on a farm, and he meets Jonathan and Martha Kent. That's pretty much it. Anything else is probably revisions. For example, Man of Steel's probably the first 10 minutes of it. Right when Clark lands on Earth. The whole origin for Superman in that movie, that's a revision. The origin that happened after Crisis on Infinite Earths, that's a revision. You know, stuff like that. That is okay. But when you get down to the point where you're just rewriting, as in you're changing a lot of stuff, that's when I start not liking it. Not to mention, the writers have a tendency to say, hey, you remember when this happened? Well, just forget about that and start acknowledging this. That's what I hate. And I think the biggest retcon that I hate the most from DC, and everybody pretty much knows this, whoever subscribes to my channel probably knows this already, it is DC's New 52. Their reboot pisses me off a lot, especially for the first year. The second year, things started calming down. I started to become at peace with the New 52. Plus, I just came up with the idea that they basically don't give a shit anymore. So, yeah, let them do whatever the fuck they gotta do. Also, let me just explain another retcon example. If you guys did not know, the character Batman, he actually originally could use guns. He could use guns and shoot people. I'm not sure about killing them because I've never actually seen him kill anybody in the old days, but I have seen him use a gun. But now they changed it so that he won't use a gun because it kind of reminds him of his childhood past. And he swore that he will never use a gun and kill people in general. Just kill people in general. Doesn't matter if it's a gun or anything. Just not kill anybody. Plus, he won't use a gun. That is an example of retcon good. Good retcon, actually. Because I like the idea that they try to make Batman's tragic past have a huge effect on him. Which it does. Because that also forces him not to use a gun. Probably him changing as a bat so he can strike fear to his enemies because he actually felt fear on the night his parents died. What else? And I can't really think of a lot any other stuff. Plus, probably leads his life to being antisocial because he still suffered from the events of his parents' death, obviously. That's pretty much it for Batman. But anyway, that's an example of good retcon. Let me see. For the Marvel side, I could only think of Spider-Man. Yep, Spider-Man. If any of you guys remember this, I think before Marvel Now, there was this event that happened in Spider-Man that resulted in him not meeting Mary Jane. Now, if you guys are a fan of that pairing and a fan of Spider-Man, you pretty much know that Mary Jane and Spider-Man, or at least Peter Parker, were together since the very beginning. We're talking about like the 1980s probably, or 70s. I'm not even sure. I don't even remember the first time he was introduced in comics. It's probably 1960s or somewhere around there. I really don't know. But he's been with her for a very long time. We're talking about like more than 40 years. This is where they are the official couple right here. And with this event, they made it so that they never met, and they're never going to meet, apparently. So in Marvel Now, that forces Peter Parker to go out with this other person who apparently is going to be now the official couple, and it led to a lot of fan backlash. That is an example from Marvel of bad retcon. That is bad. I don't know what went through the writers' minds. Apparently they probably hate the pairing. I don't know. Plus, not to mention, they also changed kind of his origin. I'm not sure exactly what they did. I have read in the internet that they kind of changed his origins when he was introduced in Marvel Now. But I really don't know the similarities because basically he just got bitten by a spider in his hand and he became Spider-Man. That was it. That's all I found that was similar. And as for the huge differences, I haven't seen any huge differences. He went to a lab, he got bitten by a spider, that's it. That's really... Also, I think his Uncle Ben died too, so yeah, that's really much it. No complaint here. But that's the only retcon example I can give you from Spider-Man. As for X-Men, I've heard that there was retcon for X-Men. I'm not sure exactly what happened, so I can't really explain to you. But anyway, you can see why I hate retcon. Actually, I really didn't explain that much about retcon. Sorry. Basically, what I mainly hate about retcon is that not only do they make events appear to not happen, but it's just... there's no need to rewrite it. There's really no need to rewrite it or revision. I prefer that than rewriting, because rewriting is dangerous because you can end up changing a lot of things for no apparent reason, and you might not notice, but the fans might notice, and that could be a problem. But anyway, I prefer revision than rewrite. Just do revisions, don't do rewrites, because I don't want no issues, and change really isn't necessary. It really is not. But anyway, we're down to the final one, and I didn't expect this to be a big issue for me. I really didn't. In fact, it wasn't even supposed to be on the list, and if it did, it was supposed to be like number 4 or 3. And the number one thing I hate about comics is the way how they handle romance. Yes, the way how Marvel and DC handle romance sucks balls, especially if your favorite pairing from any of the comic book industries never get together, or they do get together but they have so much problems that ends up breaking them up a lot. And I kind of hate that. I really do hate that. So you guys can pretty much guess where I'm going with this, but I'm not going to mention my 2 favorite pairings. I'm going to try hard not to mention them. So, romance. How does DC handle romance? How does DC handle romance? Do you really want to know? Okay. DC handle romance like this. Boy A meets girl A. They get together. Either they get together or they take a while to become friends and stuff, but then they get together. And you know what they do? They get together for a few issues. A few issues, right? Let's say months, maybe half a year. And then they break them up. Something stupid or something disastrous happens that ends them breaking them up. And they can't get back together. Now, this does not happen to every DC character, because there are some that stay official, like obviously Superman and Lois Lane. That's like the obvious one. But as for most, they always end up together, and then they break them up like a few months later. Why does this always happen? I really hate this. Not to mention, they have characters where they have multiple love interests, and that causes a war in the fan universe. Yes, I'm going to call it the fan universe. Whoever is a fan of this character that has multiple love interests, there's a war going on with who belongs with who. And there's only 2 characters I can think of right now that deal with this type of war. And that is Batman, Bruce Wayne, and Dick Grayson. Alright, let's go to Batman, because I don't feel like talking about Dick Grayson right now. Batman. What is his love interest? Okay, let's start out with the obvious. There is Catwoman. There is Wonder Woman. There is Satana. If you guys did not know, yeah, there was at some point Satana. In fact, interesting fact about that, Satana was the one that convinced Catwoman to go out with, or at least have the guts to go out with Batman, or encourage her to go out with Batman, even though she already liked him. She encouraged them two to go out. Interesting fact. Let me see who else. Huntress. And 2 other people who were just basically common reporters and stuff like that. But anyway, you get what I mean. Those people. Now, officially, or at least this is what I've seen, the official one was supposed to be him and Catwoman. But you know what they did? They went out, and after, I think 5 issues probably, or 6, they break them up. Something happened. They decided, you know what, our superhero business is getting in the way, we should stop this and still become close friends. And they broke up. This pissed me off a lot. Now, it's funny because it's not that I'm saying I like this pairing. I do like this pairing, but it's not my favorite. And I never rooted for it. It's just that they've given so many hints for them to go out. And then for them to finally go out, they have them stay together for a few issues and then break them up. So it's like, what the hell was the point? Seriously, what the hell was the point? It's so stupid. This happened in, I think somewhere around Justice League in the comics. Even in the show, they hinted so many times that Batman might go out with Wonder Woman, and then that never went anywhere. It's like, what the hell was the point of us thinking this way? And then you have hardcore fans who like that pairing who ain't gonna stop to see them until they see them together. I mean, I'm not gonna complain because I fell victim to that. Obviously, you can tell by my videos, I fell victim to that, so I'm not being a hypocrite or anything. It's just that the way how they're writing the romance sucks balls, especially for Batman, because he has too much love interest And it's like they don't know who to pick. In fact, I don't even think they want him to be with a love interest. And if that was the case, why are you ship teasing us with all these other crap? Well, not crap, but why are you ship teasing us with all these other girls? Seriously. Dick Grayson. One of the most controversy parts about Dick Grayson was him going out with Starfire, and they kind of ship tease him going out with what was her name? I think it was Barbara Gordon, you know, Batgirl. Or Oracle, if whatever the hell you want to call her. You know what happened? After the writer that supported Starfire and Dick Grayson to, you know, go out, after he left and stopped writing for that, this new writer came in, and this new writer supported Barbara Gordon and Dick Grayson. And you know what she did? She went as far as to make Starfire hateable. As in, she has done questionable stuff that forces, or at least trying to make the fans hate her, and encourage Dick Grayson to go out with Barbara Gordon. And that sucks balls. Why? Because first off, the original writer that wrote that, what this new writer is trying to do is make the old writer's writing or purpose meaningless. If they belong together, let them stay together. Why do you insist on breaking them up? It's crazy. Not to mention, when they ship tease couples, it goes nowhere. It truly goes nowhere. And yes, let me go to my favorite pairing, Teen Titans, the show. What pairing never went anywhere? Beast Boy and Raven. Why in bloody hell then are you giving us so much hints? Seriously, why? And in the comics is even worse, because they finally went out, and then for 4 issues they broke up, and this was during the 1 year later. During the 1 year later, they broke up, right? And then I think 70 or even 60 something issues later, they went back together again, and then the New 52 nuke comes out of nowhere. So it's like, what was the whole point of bringing them back together if you're just going to break them up again? Seriously. What the hell was the point? Not to mention, some of the pairings that these characters end up with, they don't give them enough time. One example, Beast Boy and Terra. That's the huge example I can give you. Sorry, speech impediment. That's the huge example I can give you, because they've only went out for what, like 3 to 4 issues? And then they had to force the character Terra to become evil and do all this crazy stuff just so they can break up with him. It's like, wow. Just wow. I wanted to see character development a little bit. Even in the New 52, with Beast Boy being red and he was a member of the Ravengers, he went out with Terra. And guess what? Terra turned out to be a clone. And Beast Boy thinks that she's dead. And this ends up with them breaking apart, obviously. Now, will this lead with him and Raven? I am not sure. I'm praying for it and rooting for it, but I don't know where they're going to go with this. But you get what I mean when it comes to romance in DC. Even in Marvel. The only ones that I hate is what they did with Spider-Man, or at least Peter Parker and Mary Jane in Marvel now. And Jean Grey basically going out with everybody. I mean, originally it was supposed to be Jean Grey and Cyclops, or Jean Grey and Wolverine. Now it's Jean Grey with Beast. Now it's her with Gambit. Now it's her with, I can't think of his name. Shit, his name escapes my mind. I can't remember. But you get what I mean. Now Jean Grey's with multiple people, so it's like, either you pick one or don't pick at all. Just don't do it. Now this is very controversial because I don't know, I'm sorry. This is very controversial because, one, I sound like a person that is only reading it for romance, which is not true. I'm just pointing out the flaws that they have when it comes to implementing love interests and romance. And two, it can also be controversy because it's... Okay, let's skip the controversy because I don't know what the hell I'm going to say for that. This is just a one-take commentary. I'm really not going to make another one. But anyway, you get what I mean. You see what I hate about their handlement with romances. I mean, you either pair them up or you don't. In fact, there's only a few, but I mean a small number, like 2 or 3 pairings that I know from the history of comics that actually stay together. Actually, no, let me see. The people who stay together is basically Superman and Lois Lane, Storm and Black Panther from the X-Men series, Peter Parker and Mary Jane, but then they changed it apparently. Mr. Fantastic and Invisible Woman. Who else from DC? I'm trying to think of somebody from DC. Barry Allen and Iris, but then they changed it because of the New 52. Trying to remember other people. I think that's about it. That's honestly, I think that's it. Yeah, that's really it. Wow. See what I mean? And you see why I hate it? Because they keep on pairing these people up, and then they break them up. So it's like you waste our time rooting for these pairings, then you get them together, and then you break them up. And the funny thing is, they never rekindle their relationship again. They never do. In fact, even a smaller number of superheroes actually get their romance rekindled. In fact, the only one that I can think of is my favorite pairing, Beast Boy and Raven. And look how long it took for them to rekindle. But anyway, that's pretty much it. The top 5 things I hate about comics. So, do you guys agree with it? If you actually sat down and listened to this 30-minute commentary, because I just noticed it was 30 minutes. If you guys sat down and listened to the whole thing, do you guys agree with any of the stuff that I've mentioned in the list? Do you guys not agree? If you don't agree, let me know in the comment section below. If you got any other ideas for next week's episode, let me know in the description below as well. Anyway, my name is Bizkit. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. See you guys later. Bye.